Welcome back to another episode of PropSutra with Balaji Rao. PropSutra is presented to you by Prop News Time. In this week's episode, we dive into what carpet area is, how to measure it, and why it should matter to you. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So today I want to talk to you about carpet area. You often find multiple explanations. Builders talk about carpet, built up, super built up. So I'll start with the basics. How do I make sense of what's what?
See, there has been an evolution of this so-called definition. Earlier, when we first started in this whole organized space of housing, it was always a carpet area.
Right.
A carpet area is nothing but where you lay your carpet, but surely it also includes the area of the corridors or the kitchen or the bathrooms. Though you don't lay your carpet, it's used in a more metaphorical sense that it is the inside dimensions of the house you have.
Okay.
Okay. It never included, for example, balconies and verandas and terraces and everything. That was the carpet area.
Right.
After that, in the evolution came the whole concept of built-up area.
Right.
Okay. Built-up area was nothing but what we would call a plinth area of that particular flat, which includes the width or the thickness of the external walls.
Okay.
And it would also include, for example, any duct areas inside an apartment or the areas of your balcony and veranda and everything.
Okay.
So they said it's more or less something what is you can enjoy under lock and key was considered as the built-up area.
Okay.
So that was becoming very popular and that reigned supreme for quite some time.
Okay.
Then in the early 90s in Mumbai especially, the concept of super built-up area came up.
All right.
Super built-up area as a concept came about because builders said, hey, but who's going to pay if you're going to do a high-rise or a mid-rise? Who's going to pay for the corridor space? Who is paying for the lobby?
Okay.
So they had this concept that whatever I build,
Okay.
I should be compensated for it.
Okay.
Okay, it's not that you're just enjoying this. You still need, if you need a lift or a staircase or a terrace or a lift machine room on top, and I'm building it and giving it to you,
Okay.
I'm going to measure everything and divide.
Okay.
So that came the concept of super built up area. And that area has been used, misused, and abused to the fullest extent possible.
Why do you say that?
Because every builder then started having a notional super built up area. That means he can't prove to you. He's giving you, let's say, a carpet area of 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
He'll tell you the built up is 1,500 square feet.
Right.
500 is in the common areas. So you tell him to explain it, he can't explain it to you. Whereas initially when it started, I could prove, or the builder could prove as to how he arrived at the 1,500.
Right.
Because of the additional common areas.
Right.
But it started getting abused because everybody says it's just a multiple. So आप ये पकड़ के चलिए.
Okay.
So it was started getting abused, and luckily in 2018, when RERA came into effect,
Yes.
then the whole thing started grinding to a halt.
Right.
And RERA defined the carpet area again. But RERA's definition of carpet area is slightly different from the original carpet area.
How so?
Insofar that it takes also the area under your inner walls.
Okay.
Because in an original carpet area, you can't put a carpet under the inner wall.
Yes.
Correct? So the RERA said that no, we will take whatever is within the boundary of the external walls.
Right.
And excluded again the verandas and the balconies or terraces. So this is the RERA carpet area as defined.
Okay.
And today all states or most of the states follow it.
Yes.
And everybody should be selling as per RERA carpet area. But old habits die hard.
Right.
You understand. So when old habits die hard, builders still quote, even in today's day and day, a super built up area, which now they call, instead of a super built up area, because that looks a bit exploitative, they call it saleable area.
Okay.
So you go to him and he says 2 BHK is a saleable area, 1200 hai.
Okay.
So then you have to again ask him what is the RERA carpet area which you're going to mention. He'll tell you, 850 hai.
Okay.
So because you're now forced to say what is the RERA carpet area
Yes.
as per the RERA Act, I think all buyers should ensure that they divide the consideration they're paying for the flat by the RERA carpet area when they're comparing.
Okay.
That will be apples to apples.
Right.
And not get fooled by the so-called saleable area or super built-up area.
Right.
Because he's trying to tell you, I'm charging you 30,000
Right.
for saleable area. And that other guy, the neighboring project charges 35,000.
Right.
But I don't know whether the neighboring project, the efficiency is better. So it's better if we take the sale value in the two projects and divide it by the carpet area of the two units to get to what should be compared between the two.
So if I'm comparing where I'm considering buying a house in a new project where they'll give me the carpet area, vis-a-vis say an older project in an older flat in the secondary market, a lot of those agreements only have values in built up area, super built up. So what should I do there?
Technically, they should have values in built-up area because before RERA, say in a place like Mumbai and in other places also there were similar laws. There was a law called Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act.
Yes.
Which was MOFA.
Yeah.
So under MOFA also you had to mention the built-up area, which was not as bad as a saleable or a super built-up area. That is one way of figuring it out. What is the built-up area? What is the area mentioned in your agreement, even if it is 30 years old?
Right.
I would like to know that. That's one. Two, most of them should be having a blueprint, no?
Yes.
In their agreements, whatever they might have, because it's very unlikely you'll have a sale agreement without a blueprint.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay. And if he doesn't have it, it doesn't take you much to get a blueprint done.
Ask the society.
Frankly speaking. So that blueprint will give you the dimensions of your rooms and gives you a fairly good idea what your carpet area should be like if you want to compare. Why should you try and do it with your eyes or to take some approximate guess or, let the broker or the seller dictate to you? बस ये 1200 है. आप बेशक मत करिए, मैं बोल रहा हूँ 1200 है. No. You measure it might be very well 950 square feet only.
There's always a confusion about whether balconies can be included in carpet area, if the balcony is covered, if it's open. Can you help clarify that?
See, the usual norm would have been today under BMC or under your so-called DP rules, what we have, you don't get a separate FSI for balconies. It's all included.
Okay.
So if you want a balcony, then it can be covered and done anything because it's up to you whether you want to cover it and bring it in or you want to use it as a balcony.
Okay.
Earlier, this was not the case.
Okay.
So actually, that's why there was a era in between when you had all these wraparound balconies for every flat.
Yes.
Because the balcony was coming much cheaper. So the FSI was not the basic FSI or the premium FSI. So they have been times when it has been misused. But basically, a balcony can be part of the carpet area if it is covered from the top at least.
Okay.
And is not open to sky. If it is open to sky, it is not fair to make the balcony part of it. We used to give it as half the value of it. Okay. And if it's a larger terrace attached to it, you would give it even 1/3 the value if it is open to sky.
Okay.
But if it is covered on the top and officially covered, not unofficially you cover it with some awning or some temporary this thing, then it can be construed as a part of the carpet area because you can actually enclose it and use it for your needs.
Another aspect of flats is the floor to ceiling height. Now, earlier in older flats, you see there's a decent amount of height given, but that's been shrinking over time. Can you help us understand what the floor to ceiling height should be?
See, in earlier days, it was pretty high.
Yes.
And that was because of circulation and ventilation and all that. Today also, typically, everybody assumes a 10 feet.
Yes.
That has almost shrunk to 9 feet today and even lesser some places. But if you really want to have a feeling of openness, ventilated, then you should have at least 10 feet. Okay. And also remember, if you have a good floor to ceiling height, you have the advantage of making false ceilings for hiding your lights. Okay. Right. So it helps in other ways also. It can also help in your ceiling fans. Because most people don't realize if your ceiling fan is too close to the ceiling and the distance between the ceiling fan and the ceiling is just say 1 foot, it can't throw much breeze because there's no breeze coming in for it to be thrown out. So the more the distance the ceiling fan has from the ceiling, the better the circulation and the better the way the ceiling fan can throw the air.
Okay.
Okay. So naturally, if I have something which is less than 9 feet or 9 feet and you put a ceiling fan and you give it sufficient gap, then if I put up my hand, I might chop my fingers off.
Yes.
Isn't it? So all these are at a risk. So today, if we are going for centrally air-conditioned fans, they don't need ceiling fans, which is what in the offices we have, where
Right.
you have a raised floor because of your wiring. You can have false ceilings. And so they can run even with 9 feet because it's all centrally air-conditioned.
Right.
But typically that floor, if you really take out the raised floor and the false ceiling is more than 10 feet, even in an office. In a residential, people are squeezing it because it's cost effective. You have to put less concrete, less cement, less steel, everything in it. And you're trying to squeeze in more floors based on a height restriction.
Understood.
Okay. But again, as I said, if you want a premium house or a luxury house, you should go as per the cubic. That means it's not just the length and width of the room, but also the height of the room.
Okay.
And the higher the cubic, the better it is.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So that is the way one should evaluate housing. Because if I was to buy a luxury house, I would definitely want some ceiling which is more than 10 feet if possible.
Okay.
And not something which is 9 feet.
Right. So you see some today in ultra luxury projects, builders have started offering a open plan flat, like how commercial spaces are sold. Do you think that's better?
See, the question of open and closed is very simple. If you have lesser steel in a building,
Yes.
lesser concrete in a building, then you will need to have more columns.
Mhm.
Okay. And you will need to have more of load bearing walls,
Right.
shearing walls, where it can take the load also. If I have more concrete and more steel, then my intercolumnar span increases.
Okay.
Okay. In commercial buildings, we call it a flat slab technology, where the intercolumnar span can be very, very wide.
Okay.
So that it gives you complete flexibility of how you can plan an office or a
Right.
banquet or a convention center.
Right.
So in a flat, if I have a flat slab sort of a technology, or I don't have any load bearing walls,
Yeah.
and I have a wide intercolumnar span, then naturally the ability to be flexible inside the flat is huge.
Right.
Because I can put my partition walls and figure out whether I want a smaller bedroom and a larger living room or vice versa.
Right.
Okay. So again, as I said, if it is a real luxury building, premium building, where the cost of construction is a minuscule percentage of the overall cost of the building or the flat, then it is better to go for better technology and have no load bearing walls.
Okay.
And do it on a columnar beam sort of a structure. Use steel more if you want. You can have even a steel building. And then you can usually use the internal space to design the way you want, except for the services, which are your sewage and drainage and your gas or power line. But that also can be managed. So it gives you large or high amount of flexibility and a large flow speed. So that is real luxury, in my opinion.
What about affordable housing?
See, affordable housing by nature is always cookie cutter, not just affordable. Even mid-income housing will be cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it is. So starter homes, mid-income homes, they will be cookie cutter. But when you're paying, say, 100 crores for a house, you're not going to look at it in the same way as you're paying 1 crore for a house or a 50 lakhs for a house.
Absolutely. Yes. To round this episode up, I'd like to ask you, what advice would you give to a first-time home buyer?
The way I look at it is this episode, when we are talking about the area, carpet area and all that, it is of the most critical aspect.
Okay.
You understand? Because for most home buyers, size matters because of whatever is the size of the family, the amount of storage they require, So I do not assume that this is not a critical factor.
Okay.
But the question is, how do you go about measuring this critical factor?
Right.
Whether you measure it with a tape or whether you measure it with a electronic device, it should be done. And if it cannot be done, you should call in your so-called interior decorator or even a contractor who will measure it for you and tell you.
Okay.
You understand? Even a painting contractor will tell you exactly what is the area you're buying
Yes.
because he has to charge you per square foot.
Right.
A flooring guy will tell you how much it is. So I always believe my advice to a starting home buyer or any home buyer is at least know what you're buying. I'm not going to argue with you what price you want to pay.
Okay.
That is something you will arrive at by figuring out what you can afford and what is the competitive price and what is value for money for you maybe. But you should know what you're buying. My constant refrain has been that most people don't know what they're buying. Okay. And if you really don't know what you're buying, you will get into what I call buyer's remorse sooner or later.
Okay.
You wonder what the hell have you bought? So especially in area when people come and tell me, oh, I bought this in this fancy building, but the rooms are so small and, you can hardly swing a cat from here to there. And, my children have to be in bunk beds. They can't even have a proper bed. I wonder as to, didn't you look at it? So he says, no, went and saw some show flat. But that's not good enough. You can actually look at your dimensions of what you're buying and figure out. The main crux for me comes from, in my opinion, people do these large purchases in our country without seeking advice from experts.
Right.
Because we are loath to pay anyone any fees. It has to come free, So even if my panwala or broker is giving me a stock tip, I'll be listening to it.
Yes.
Okay. So I always feel, so all these tips which you all get, we want it free. So you don't want to invite a legal expert or a technical guy or even a painting contractor or an architect or an interior decorator or a valuer. You don't want anyone.
Right.
Because you think if you're going to pay a broker 1%, oh my God, that's too much.
Yes.
And you're going to negotiate with him whether he's going to be agreeable to take 0.5%.
Yes.
And you just want to make the purchase. So you want to give your money, hard-earned money, whether it's lakhs or in crores, without having any advice coming to you.
Right.
And that, puzzles me. Because I wonder what mindset is that.
Yes.
You understand? So, and especially from the other side, your counterparty, who might be a builder or a reseller, if he's a smooth talker, and if he's a professional, he will be a smooth talker, you're bound to get caught.
Right.
Because he'll tell you it's so easy if the floor is less. No? If the floor to ceiling height is less, you can easily clean the ceiling also.
Yeah.
So you're not really understanding the various aspects and impact of certain things because you don't want to talk to experts.
But here, should my broker be better? Should my broker be telling me, hey, this is how you should be
That is
comparing?
plan B. When the broker becomes your lawyer, he becomes your valuer, he becomes your engineer, he becomes your interior decorator. You can make him anything you want. He will dance to your tune till he gets his brokerage. But that's plan B.
Okay.
You have to also think, is he actually a lawyer?
Right.
You're telling him to make the agreement, but is he actually a lawyer?
So I have to do my due diligence either way.
Absolutely. It's not just due diligence, it is a question of seeking the right help, professional help, before you make a purchase. And that abroad is far more easier. People do it. Somehow in India, I find people are loath to give fees or to seek advice.
Right.
That's my final word of caution and advice to all families or people buying homes.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's a wrap for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do share your thoughts and feedback in the comment section below. If there's something you'd like us to hear us talk about, do let us know and we'll take it up next time. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. Until next time, thank you so much.